Hello everyone, I'm Batpan, a bat who uses pan to cook and poison his enemies. As you guys see, I changed my way of fighting the enemies. I'm gonna change it once every couple of videos, okay? And in this series of videos, I'm gonna show you the questions I had along the journey of creating my game and actually give you guys or gals the answers I found for them. And in this video, which is the third part of the mouse sensitivity creation, wow, what a word, we will actually see how we can save our mouse sense and use it in our scenes or levels. So without wasting time, let's go and find that out. Let's create another scene so we can test our, save files. I'm gonna create a new scene. I'm gonna call it test scene. I'm gonna go into the test scene. I'm gonna go to my sample scene. I'm gonna copy my, FPS controller. I'm gonna go to my test scene. I'm gonna delete the main camera. I'm gonna add a 3D train. And then I'm gonna, paste my FPS controller here. I'm gonna, give it a different color for the lighting so you guys can, actually know the difference. I'm gonna make this one, like this, a little bit green. So you guys know this is the test scene and this is our actual scene. First, I'm gonna show you guys the longer way, which is easier to understand. Then I'm gonna show you guys the short way, which is, just a little bit harder to understand, but it is very much, shorter. So you guys maybe wanna use that for your needs. So we open the code. This is the code I created in my previous videos. I'm just gonna show you guys so you guys know what we're creating. This is for button number 1, button number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the fixed color block. This is my stop menu code. We're going to work with this one in this, tutorial, in this video. This is my code, as you guys see. If you want to understand this code better, I recommend watching my 2 previous videos, which is parts 1 and 2 of this series. Let's go to the part where we actually change our mouse sensitivity. So we go here. Let me zoom it. We can actually, save the data here every time, we change the mouse sets. So to do that, for the long way, we gotta create a player prefs. Player prefs are a way to, save your data in Unity. So we say player prefs dot set int. We're gonna call it MS, which stands for mouse sensitivity, comma, and space. We're gonna give it a value. I'm gonna give it 1. When our mouse sense script, the mouse sense amount integer is 1, it will, save it as 1 in our player prefs dot set int ms. So we can, copy this, paste it in here, name it 2. For 3, we name it 3. For 4, we name it 4. And for 5, we name it 5. This is the longer way. I'm gonna show you guys. So we're done here. We go to our test scene. So we need a script here so we can, import our mouse sense in here. So we say, I'm gonna create a folder here. I'm gonna name it test seal. I'm gonna create a script for this. I'm gonna say load sense, which is gonna load our mouse sensitivity. I'm gonna create an empty object. I'm gonna say load sense. I'm gonna give the script to this object so I can actually use the script in my game. I open the load sense. So first we add the using Cinemachine up here so we can actually change our mouse sensitivity. Then we create a public Cinemachine virtual camera. I'm gonna name it vcam. We don't need the update function right here because this is the test. You guys can actually add it for yourself. So in here, we're gonna load it. The short way for it was, just maybe 1 for and 1 if, but long version, which is easier to understand, we can actually say if player prefs dot get int, which is gonna get our integer from our ms, which is mouse sensitivity, is equal to 1. So if our ms is equal to 1, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say vcam dot get Cinemachine component, which is we're gonna get the Cinemachine POV dot vertical axis dot max speed is equal to 0.5 f. This was for the vertical. We're gonna add it for the horizontal. We say get cinemachine component POV dot horizontal axis dot max speed, not max value, max speed into 0.5 f. So we actually have 5 of them, so we're gonna say else if layer prefs dot get int with the name of ms is actually equal to 2. We're gonna do this. You guys can copy this for 3, 4, and 5. Just change the numbers here, 3, 4, 5. And you guys can copy these 2 lines and add them here, 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 and here. Just change the values to, 1. This is 1.5. This is 2. This is 2.5. As you guys see, this will actually work. We're gonna give it the load sense. It needs a virtual camera. We can click on the circle here, give it the virtual camera, or we can actually give it by dragging and dropping it here. So let's test it out. We go to our scene, we go to our sample scene, we save it here. This is actually our, first and actual scene. So we change the mouse sense from here and actually see if it actually changes in the test scene as well. So we stop, we go to our settings. I'm gonna make it as low as possible. I start my game. As you guys see, it is, slower. When I go to my test scene, I actually open it up. As you guys see, it is slower. I'm gonna show you with numbers. So I'm gonna make it, normally so you guys can actually see what our cinemachine POV value is. It is 1.5 by default. When I started, it's gonna load our scene. And it's gonna change it to, as you guys see, 0.5 f, which was our first one. So we're gonna, I'm gonna show you guys again. I'm gonna make it as fast as possible. As you guys see, it actually moves fast. I'm gonna show you the value in our actual scene, which is 2.5. And we're gonna go to our test scene. We're gonna play it. It's gonna load our sensitivity. As you guys see, it is fast. And when we look at the value, it is 2.5. So it actually saves our value and loads it perfectly. So this was the long way. Let me show you guys the short way. For the short way, we actually go to our stop menu where we, get our, set our save file, where we actually save our file. We go here, instead of this line, we're gonna say layer prefs.set float. We're gonna name it ms as well. And then we're gonna give it 0.5 f as the value. What's the difference here? It is our actual value. As you guys see, it is 0.5 f. It is, increasing by 0.5. It is 0.5 f. It's actually 1 is 1.5 f is 2.5. So it's increasing by, 0.5. So to create that, we're gonna say first give it the 0.5. Then we're gonna give it number 1 as our, max speed in the number 2. We're gonna give it 1.5 here. We're gonna give it 2 here. We're gonna give it 2.5 here. The amount we give it is the same as the amount of our, max speed, horizontal and vertical max speed. So to actually, this was our save file. We actually save it. For the loading part, we go to our load sense, which is our test scenes code, which is gonna load our sense. Instead of writing all these lines, we can actually say, we're just gonna say for float I, which is equal to 0.5 f as the start, I is less or equal to 2.5 as it was our final max speed. It was 2.5. Let me show you guys. As you guys see, it is 2.5 here. So we go to our load sense and increase it by I is equal to I plus 0.5 f, which is going to increase it by 0.5. Then we're just going to check if our I is equal to our save file. If it is, set our I as our max speed. So what's going to do is it's going to check if our I is equal to our save file. If it is, set our I as our max speed. So to do that, we say if I is equal to layer prefs dot get float. It's not int, it's float, and the name was ms. If it is, you go down here and say vcam.get cinemachine component visual camera POV cinemachine POV dot vertical axis dot max speed is equal to I. We're gonna do that for our horizontal one too. So get cinemachine component cinemachine POV dot horizontal axis dot m underline max speed is equal to I. And this was the short way, maybe just maybe a little bit harder to understand, but it is actually much shorter. You guys can use either one, both actually work. So I'm going to show you guys that this one actually works as well. So I start the scene, I walk around, I set my mouse sense to the lowest, which is 0.5 f. I'm going to check the value here on my vcam. I go to my POV, it is 0.5 as you guys see. I then load my test scene. Everything is fine. Start the scene. As you guys see, my mouse is slower, and I'm actually gonna check it out to show you guys. It's 0.5. So then let's check the highest amount as well, so you guys can see it is not set before. I make it as fast as possible. The value is 2.5 here. As you guys see, it is 2.5. Let's go to our test scene. Start the scene. As you guys see, it actually moves pretty fast. We go to our FPS controller, we go down here, we see it is 2.5. So this was actually the way to save your mouse sense data and use it in your other scenes as well. You can use this save function on anything you want. I'm gonna go do something for the end of the video as I did in my previous videos. I actually used what I told you guys today to make the ending of the video. Go to our actual scene, give it sense 1. We then go to our test scene. It's gonna load a text. It's gonna show us this. If I go and make this 2, then load our next scene, it's gonna say, I'm gonna do for all the others as well. If I know the answer to it, of course. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.